Okay, welcome back for day 2 of Camping with the Pups special on Amazon's Big Deal Days. We are getting started. We have several deals that dropped overnight, so we'll be going online and jumping into some of them right now. So here we go. First one we have that I saw overnight here, this has come up a few times in the past, but it is on sale again, is the actual Furbo 360-degree dog camera and nanny bundle. What this is a security camera that you can have either in your house or your RV, and that actually shows your pup when you're away. And it also has a section down here where you can go ahead and give treats if you want to. You can have it on a schedule or you can manually do it. This one does require a subscription, so you do have to make sure you're keeping up with that. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Seem to be having a little problem with our Facebook Live portion. Let's just make sure we're up to date on here. Okay, we're doing good. All right, excellent. So with that, we have a sale going with it right now that is 53% off. It's normally $99, going on sale now for $47. So that's a good deal if you need this. Like I said, it does require a subscription. So I know I covered one yesterday that gave temperature and power monitoring that was on cell service, didn't require any subscription, but this one's actually a camera, so you will need that. And again, like we did yesterday, we will have all of these deals at the end on our webpage, which is www.campingpupsrv.com. And while we're getting started here, I'd just like to take a moment and send our prayers and hopes to all of our viewers in Florida. I know Milton's going to be serious. I know there's a lot of y'all worried about things down there. Hopefully you've evacuated by now. If you're an RV, if not, you found shelter somewhere, and we're all watching and wishing the best. So you're all in our prayers. So we'll check in after, and hopefully everyone makes it through this pretty good. But with that, we'll go ahead and get back to what y'all came here for, which is what's going on with the big deal days here. So another item for those of you that are looking at your lithium batteries, I mentioned a starter version for someone just getting into the lithium batteries yesterday, which was just 100 amp. This one is a 280 amp hours. And like I said, roughly when you deal with lithium, you can go almost all the way down on your charge. With ACM and lead acid, you really don't want to go below half. So when you got 280 amp hours, you actually have 280. With ACM, you'd have about half that. You'd have about 140. So this is good. It's on sale right now for 23% off. Went from almost $600 down to $559. So that's a good deal if you're already starting to do your lithium battery bank on there to continue on with. Another thing, if you're looking at upgrades, instead of just the open vent that we have in here, this is designed to fit in that space. This is the AirMax. 14-inch is RV vent, but it's got the reversible exhaust fan. And it has a little remote here, which makes it nice because like the little fan you may have in your bathroom or something like that, some of them are manual. You got to reach up and hit it. So this actually has UV-proof cover lead. You have a remote. rain sensor. So if you leave it open and it starts raining, it will automatically shut. So there's a lot of nice features to this. This is 20% off now. Instead of 169, we're down to 135. So if you were looking to do an upgrade, this is a good time to go ahead and get it. The next one, I mentioned yesterday, the Jackery Solar Generator 3000 Pro. We just did the battery pack itself. The thing I like about this is it does have a normal 30 amp plug. So you can plug in your RV if you're 30 amp or something and get some hours. And I did mention you did have an option to get your actual solar panels with it. This is the package with the solar panels. And oh, it just went off. Wow. This was on this morning. They still had some this morning. So I will take this off of here. I apologize. I was just checking about 2 hours ago and they still had availability on that. For those of you that are actually looking to upgrade your water system, your water filter, I mentioned yesterday we had the ones that had a wet bay that had a two-stage that could hook up. This is for those of us that don't have that room, still going to have your filter outside. This is a stand. It hooks in here. And this is 3-stage system. So that gets a lot of your contaminants and stuff out. And this actually is 16% off. It's normally $291. It's down to $240, roughly $245, $244.79. So if you're looking to upgrade your water game as far as filtering in your system, this is a good buy. Our next one is just for camping in general. We always have times when we don't have power. We need things for our smaller aspects, or we're boondocking and we don't want to use the limited battery we have just for like accessories and stuff. This one is a handheld you take with you, actual battery pack. Nice thing about it is solar, so you can sit it out and it'll recharge. It has a little compass thing on here. It does have flashlight here. And the other thing is it does have wireless charging for your phone. So you can actually put your phone on it, charge up that way. You can plug in for fast charging, or as I mentioned, you have your actual way to do the solar. And when you charge, as opposed to a lot of them where you have to switch, you have one plug for input, one plug for output. This goes both ways. So that's kind of nice at 43% off. It's only $40. It's down to $22.95. So that's a pretty good deal whether you're camping or not. But if you're going to be outside, it's nice to have along with you. Another necessity for those of us that go camping a lot is if you're in a 30 amp, they have other dog bones as well. This is a adapter, electrical adapter, and what we commonly refer to as a dog bone for RVers. This one takes a 50 amp plug and down steps it to 30 amp if you're in a 30 amp RV. They do have other versions which will go from like 30 amp down to 125 or 120 amp or 120 volt rather, sorry, 15 amp. But this one, we carry this actual exact one in ours because sometimes the 30 amp isn't working at a campsite, or there's a few older campsites that may only have 50 or 30 depending on the site you're at. So this way we can go to any site. So this is 27% off. Instead of $28, it's down to $20. So that's essential I would normally keep with us if you don't have one already. For those of you that have dual axle, this is a cover for both tires. Tires sitting out for a long time in the sun, it can affect eventually. So a lot of people, if you're going to be sitting in a place for a while, you'll put wheel covers on, especially in hot, sunny areas. So if you're going to do that and you need the dual covers, this is half off right now. Instead of $40, you're getting it for basically $20. So that's a good deal if you need one. And for those of you that have older camper or maybe just the lights in your camper, there's a little push button lights, aren't that bright. This one is actually a much brighter replacement. As you can see, you have different types. This one's 50% off though. So normally it'd be $52, it's down to 26. And you can see the difference they're showing is going from dark to light. So you have a lot more brightness that you can do. You can also, though, which is nice on this, is you can adjust to 5 different levels on there. So at half off, if you're looking to upgrade your lighting inside, this is a great deal. My camp's a 30 amp camper, Class C. They do have some in 50 amp as well, but this is a good deal on an extension cord. Sometimes your cord isn't quite long enough for where you're going. So a 25 foot for most campsites will be plenty to get you where you need to go to the actual power box there. And this is 25% off right now. Normally it's $72. It's down to about $53. So this is a good deal if you need that. And Camco is a pretty good company for these type of accessories. For those of you that use the regular generators and you have that 30 amp generator plug that you can't always get power out of, this is an adapter that'll plug into the 30 amp generator and give you 2 15 amp regular plugs here. So you can make use of that to give you better plug options on a regular mobile generator. So it's 15 amp, what they call 515 ins, and it's rated to 125 volts, which is going to be most of what's coming out of there when you do that. And this is 26% off. Instead of $22, you're getting it for basically 16. So that's a good deal for that if you have the portable generators. Now, yesterday I showed the pop-up portable shower tent thing. This is one that actually attaches to the vehicle. So this could be attached to a Jeep like they have here. I've seen on pop-up campers where they've attached. And so you have a floor mat there. It's a privacy shelter. You have a drain pipe for that. So there's LED lights. So you have a lot of functionality there to hold open. Comes with everything you need. And you can stake it down to get there. So, but this is designed to hook up to the side of a vehicle or pop up. That's 20% off. Instead of 208, it's 167. So that's a good deal. It gives you a little more stability if you want to attach directly to the vehicle there. Getting back to our water, we already talked about the 3-stage filter. Some places have hard water. We already talked yesterday about the water quality at some of these parks aren't necessarily the best. So you can actually get a water softener. We actually have the residential large water softeners where I'm at because we're on well water at my house. But this is a portable one you can take with you, and it helps keep some of that calcium buildup out of your pipes inside the RV. So it's a little bit off. This was 130, now it's 120. This was on the deals earlier, so just wanted to share that with you, even though it's not technically a Prime Day deal. Now, talking about water filters, they also have, and this will work in the RV, they have the bathroom faucet with built-in filter. So you have your regular filter go through the outside, comes through the pipe. Sometimes stuff can get picked up in the pipe. And if you wanted to, you could have the sink filter or the sink faucet with your second filter coming through. And that is exchangeable. It comes out on there. So for those of you that are looking at that, this is over half off now. I've never tried this, but I might look at this since it's actually a good deal. Instead of $100, it's down to $47. So we'll put that, like I said, on our webpage right after we finish here and put a link to the webpage in the comments after we broadcast today. Another unique item is this is for your fridge in your RV. You've seen the little small fans that moves the air around. And the reason for that is in the back of your fridge, you have the little metal fins. That's where everything, all the cold for your fridge is coming in from. And it's normally just on one area, normally the top of your fridge. So what we do is you normally get a fan somewhere in the fridge to circulate the air. This one's unique in that it actually connects. It has the little clips to clip onto there, and you got two fans blowing, so it's blowing the cold immediately on there. And that's 18% off right now. Instead of $33.58 is $27.68. So good deal if you're looking for a fan. For those of you that are going camping with your bikes, this is designed to hook onto the back bumper for your Class C or some of your trailers. And the way it works is it's got a place for your wheels for your bikes to go in, and you can secure it down. And that's 36% off now. It's normally $255, on sale for $151. So that gives you another option if you're bringing bicycles along with that. This here is something I've been looking at for a little while. There are adjustable poles for tarp. They just set it to, they telescope, and it works as like a fly. I was looking at possibly using this to extend out our awning. And the way it works is it hooks up, and it'll show you got different length for here. And it allows you to create a peak or an outer area, and you secure the awning or your tarp with rope, and it can allow you to do that. Or like here, where they've done two and tied it off. So that's 11% off right now. Instead of $34.90, it's $31. So thinking about pulling the trigger on this one and actually getting that. This is something I do have. It's a 12.5 foot telescoping ladder. So this will allow me to get to anywhere around the RV up to the roof instead of just the ladder I have on the back. So if you don't have a ladder, or you need to get to some spaces on the side, such as the side of the awning and stuff like that, this is compact when you're storing it, but it will allow you to do what you need to on there. And this is on sale for 20% off. So you're getting it for under 100. It's normally 120. You're getting it for 96. So that's a good deal. We use ours often when we're on the campsite. Another thing we've recently gotten, and Daniela's going to have me install in the off season, is these magnetic screens. They come together in the center here. And the main reason is, instead of our regular screen door on our RV, we want to be able to have something to keep the bugs out, but allow the pups to come in and out too. So instead of building some type of dog door or something like that, I just got this, and so I'm going to be installing it in the off season and see how it works for you. But the actual price is normally $20. It's down to $17 right now, so it's 15% off if you get it today. Now, if you're doing an RV, those normal little car compressors aren't strong enough to do a lot of your vehicles. They only go up to, even when you pull into a gas station, the normal PSI type you got to get in the truck side. So this is a small, compact air compressor that will go up to 150 PSI, which should handle most RV tires. It does let you know as you're pumping what your PSI is here. So it's got the accessories you need. And it's 26% off. Instead of $179, you're down to $132. And it's nice as far as size, because a lot of these compressors can be very large to get up to that PSI. So this is a good buy if you need it when you're on there, especially if you're going to be boondocking. You're going to be somewhere where you can't get to a truck stop or something to use theirs. Now, yesterday we talked about your surge protectors. A good surge protector is an absolute necessity. We had a few that we showed that were plug-in. I mentioned that there is inline or permanently hardwired surge protector. This is one of them. Progressive Industries is one of the two top brands. You have that, and you have the Watchdog brand of them. So this is a internal or hardwired. It comes in for hookup, and your power cord comes in one side. There's a protector here, and then it goes out the other side to your RV, and that would actually be installed inside the RV. So for 15% off, it's $141. That's not a bad price. These normally are up around the 166, and I've seen them in the stores for a little bit more than that. So for 30 amp, that's the 30 amp price because that's what I have. You can do 50 amp as well. And they come either with the integrated display or you can do a remote display. The remote display is one that you would wire inside the RV living area so you can see as well. So for 50 amp, same thing, would be 180. So it's a little more for the 50 amp, of course. But this is a great deal for that. Another thing we use quite often is where I have the water hook up to the RV instead of creating constant stress on the hose, is I do use a 90 degrees hook here. And what this does for you, good example here, this is the way we used to plug in our water hose. And this way, there's no strain on the hose. And I have one for our freshwater, and I do have one for our black tank flush. I do keep them separated in the different containers. I have a container for all my accessories for black water. I have one for all my freshwater so that they don't get mixed up. But right now, this is 20% off. It's normally only $10, but you can get it for $8 right now. So if I didn't already have a couple, I would pick more up. They are great since we've been using them. And a trick I do with those is I screw that directly into the RV, and then I use a quick release on the other side, so I don't have to worry about screwing the hose. I just hook it up and hook it back off real quick. So that makes it really nice for what I'm working with in our RV. So the next one here is if you're setting up a temporary RV outlet or going on the outside of your house. We did one of these for our 30 amp. This is a 50 amp being shown. But this allows you not to worry about the stepping down your electric and only being able to run certain things in your RV. If you run for a 50 amp and you plug your 50 amp in here, you can use full power in your RV. And it does come with a breaker right at the plug, which is nice. If you wanted to really set up your home, there is also, I've seen the full power box, which has 50, 30, and 15 amp. But this one, just for the 50 amp, is 20% off. Instead of $60, which it normally is, you're down to $48. So it's been a game changer since we've actually installed a outlet at our house. We started just on the outside of the house for us to hook into. And it's made a huge difference, especially when we've had to have AC in there because we were working on stuff inside. And when we had damage inside our house from a storm, we still had electric, but our AC and some of our stuff got damaged inside. So we actually lived in an RV for a week while we were getting some of that stuff repaired. And having an actual direct hookup where we could turn everything on in the RV just like we were camping made things much nicer for us. Now, another thing, when you're driving down the road, a lot of times you may want to go ahead and stock the RV fridge ahead of time, but things just like in your cabinets can move. So this is designed to actually put up a barrier, tension rods, to keep stuff from moving around inside. And another one just went unavailable. I apologize, folks. These things are going quick. So that's two items that we had early this morning that have dropped off. Let me check this one. Okay, this one's still on here. Compartment locks. If you're not aware, the RV industry, those compartment locks are a standard. They only make typically, when the ones that come with your RV, like 1 in 5. So there's a high, when you're in a big campground, there's a high probability of having the key for someone else's compartment possibly fitting yours. So one of the things I would recommend if you're going to be camping in campgrounds a lot and you're worried about security is, when you can, change out the locks. This is a different type. This is, instead of just a normal key that goes in, these are the more secure keys. And so these aren't out there when someone just buys their RV. They aren't going to get that. They are a set of them. So you actually get 10 that are all keyed alike. So you only need the one key for your set. But they're on sale right now. For instead of $23, they're down to $18.39. And that'll allow you to do different uses. They're showing them with like lockers. They actually have, if you need go back to the company with your you lost a key, they do have a code that will allow you to reorder. And so that's a great idea, to change those out so that you're more secure with the stuff you're storing in your basement there. This is one we just came across yesterday, and we're actually looking at doing this because we have the normal ice cube trays. We don't fill them up when we're going down the road, but we have used them to make ice when we're at the campsite. But it's hard to have several and take place there. What this is it's compact. You have the cubes here, and it will freeze, and you don't even have to empty them normal. What happens here is you fill the middle part here, let it freeze, it goes on top, and when you push down from the top, it'll push, because it's silicone, it'll push all the ice cubes down through there. So just like this. You don't even have to touch the ice for when you break it out or anything. So you'll get it frozen, stuff like that. So we're actually looking at ordering this today ourselves, because it'll make it nice. Comes with the scoop and everything. And it's only $17.59, guys. It's 20% off right now. Normally $21.99. And I haven't seen this before. We've been doing this for, this is the third Prime Day deal that we've scoured. And this is the first time I've seen this. So we're going to get this and take a look at it ourselves. And actually, let me go ahead on this one and put this one like we did last time. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat for y'all if you want to check it out right away, because I'm not sure how long this is going to last on here. But again, the full list will be on our webpage afterwards. Now, for those of you that are in Class B RVs, or you have the hookup for the mini tables, where it hooks into the side of like the dining. I've seen these a lot on your Class B ones. This one's 20% off right now. It's normally $101. It's down to $80.80. And a lot of the Class B RVs that we've toured have this as a way for doing your table. It swivels out of the way. It can be removed from the bracket for storage. So that's a pretty good deal if you need an extra one, or you've seen those in the Class B and you're thinking, you know what, it'd be nice to have a little side table in the dinette. It's fairly easy to install too. Now, this one hasn't been on for a little while, actually since last year, but this is kind of nice. Now, what this is for the cushions. It's a slip cover that goes on separate to your cushions in your dinette, and it protects it. It's breathable. It's a soft fabric. It helps against spills, stuff like that. So it'll keep it from getting damaged. We like the idea of that, especially with our pups, because you got the claws and stuff like that. This is on sale again for 20% off. It's down $18.39. Keep in mind, though, this is not a set. It is back cushion and main cushion, but this is one set. So you get one backrest and one bench cover. So in this type of scenario here, you would need to order two. The reason they do that, I suspect, is because some are setups also have a back. So you might have like a U-shaped dinette. In that case, you could get three instead of just two. So again, $18.39. Just keep in mind if you get this, the quantity that you need on there. Now, for those of you that have Starlink, this is a carrying bag for the Generation 2 Starlink. It's a handbag that puts all the accessories and the Starlink in. It's kind of nice, so you don't have to worry about how are you transporting it. It all comes together. It's easy to move. It has a cover actually for the, I guess what we call a dish. It's not really dish shape, but it's the actual receiver of the Starlink. It lays down on a foam to help protect it. And then you can put the rest of the accessories in and zip it up and go. So that's on sale right now for 31% off. Instead of $70, you're down to $48. So for those that have that, I would think that's a good deal. I've been looking actually for our dish. We have a dish on the go, so I have a unit for that. And I've been waiting for a good cover carrying case for that to come out so I can do the same thing that they're doing here. Now, in your RV awning shades, there's a couple of them that we have. This one I actually just bought yesterday on the Amazon Prime Day deal. This comes in all different sizes you can select from. The one I did, I have a 20-foot awning. So the actual sunshade is about 9 inches short of your overall length of your awning. So the 19-foot 3-inch fits a 20-foot awning. So when you're shopping for these, think about that. Find out the length of your overall length of your awning and go down a foot plus 3. So if it's a 20-foot, it'd be 19.3. If it's an 18-foot, it'd be 17.3 on there. The reason I like this one and what attracted me to this is this actually has a zip off. So the top part stays with the awning when you roll it up. So if we get bad winds and I have to unhook, I can zip it off in a second and roll it up. I don't have to slide it out of the track. And this helps with about 88% of it. And this was on sale for $100. It was $120, went down to $100, 17% off. Some of your other sizes are on other sales. So let's say the typical they show is the 15 awning, and that was $79. So it was a good time to buy. We actually got it yesterday, or ordered it. It hasn't come in yet. But there's a few different ones on sale if that's not what you're looking for your type. Now, I mentioned yesterday the windshield cover that we have. And this is great because it's insulated, helps with like snow, rain, that type of stuff, but also privacy because this allows us to use the inside of our cab area where our seats turn around as additional seating and living space when we're out on camp. And so it hooks on, it goes for all different season. It's got magnets to keep it in place. We've never had any problem with them moving. It does wrap around the actual mirrors, and it's got its own storage bag, so it stores up really nice too. So this particular one is 18% off. Instead of $34, it's down to $28. And I would get it again in a heartbeat. Now, the backup camera that was on sale last time is on sale again. This is 43% off. This is a wireless. It was 175. It's down to just under 100, 99.98. And the nice thing about that is instead of having a hard wire, it's got the antenna there, and your actual camera has that. And these are actually expandable. You can actually have additional cameras and do that on here. So we talked about you can monitor, like we said, monitor screen for 4 channels. So you can have up to 4 cameras that are you can switch between or do a grid, so you can split screen. So that's a great deal without having to do a lot of wiring, which gets into actually automotive wiring for that. Especially if you're in a situation here where you're doing a tow. You could have the monitor up here and the camera in the back. So if you next one, if you don't want to be doing all of your ice in your limited space in your freezer, this is a small ice machine. Takes about 6 minutes for 9 ice cubes. It will run 24 hours. It has your scoop and basket and everything. It's 30% off, so you're basically a third off. Instead of $100, you're getting it for $70. And as you can see, it's works fairly well. It makes a bullet size. It's just one touch operation. Doesn't take up a lot of counter space, which is very important when you're doing that. Is also can be moved. Looks like it's got might have battery power along with it, because it looks like out here it's not plugged in. I'm not sure if it's plugged in and they just moved it. I think that's just showing a handle. So once it's ice is made and it's being kept cool in there, they can just carry it outside for your stuff. But third off, that's a good deal. Again, we had this last year. This is on sale again for your food containers. They completely seal airtight and they're collapsible when they're not in use. This is a set of 8 silicone, and they're 25% off. Instead of $36, you're down to $27.11. And these are a great deal on there. I love every time these come up, and I like the fact that they do come back around when they do the Prime Days again. This is another one. If you have the right size, this is not available for different sizes, but they do have this awning shade for the 16-foot awning, and it is half off. It is the type that slides in there. And instead of $50, you're getting it basically for $25. And so if this is the size that you need, this could be a great deal for you, because it has a 9-foot drop, which is good for most awnings out there. And at 50% off, you can't beat that. But unlike the other ones, you don't have a variety of sizes you can pick from. The 50% off is just on the 16-foot awning. The door handle magnet is back on sale again, 20% off. Instead of $15.99, you're down to $12.79. And this is nice because you put one side on the door, one on there. It's just a little adhesive, and that holds the door open. It's got very strong magnets. You don't have to worry as much about the wind blowing it shut and everything when you want to have the door open. And this also happens often when you have the screen door shut, but you want your regular door open. You don't want the regular door slamming shut on you. So this has a 2-pack of them you can get. So $12.79, you can't beat that. You always need water filters. If you don't go to the upgrade 2-stage or 3-stage that we showed you earlier, this is a common at a bare minimum, what they call the inline filter. And Taste Pure is a very good brand. We use these all the time. And they're half off almost now. So instead of $47, you're down to $24. So you can't beat that. So I would stock up on some of these. We're actually going to stock up on some of these because we still use the inline right now on there. Now, yesterday I showed you the adhesive shelving for inside the shower. If you aren't going to go that far, but you don't want yourself falling off of these little shelves that are kind of molded in, you have these little bars you can put in, and they come in a 2-pack. they're 15% off instead of $22 or $23. You're down to 19. So that's good. At the bare minimum, I put that, because if you've ever been in the RV showers, normally they aren't extremely big. And so having stuff falling off while you're in there is a bit of a pain. So another necessity for any camper is a sewer hose, because you got to dump it sometime, whether you're dumping at a dump station or you have full hookups. And probably one of your better ones out there is the Campco Rhino Flex. This is the 15-foot. You can get the 30-foot, which is basically two of these that go together. This one has the adapter to go right into the drop, and actually has caps, which is kind of nice to put on the end so you don't have that smell stuff when you're storing it. And this is over half off right now. This is normally $63. You're getting it for $30. So you can't beat that. And this, like I said, this is one of your Rhino Flex is one of your top of the line for this. There are some cheaper ones. I've seen one advertised recently that said the Weekender. I don't know how much I'm going to trust that going out, but this is what we have is Campco's Rhino Flex. And it's worked great for us. Again, you want to be able to regulate the water, your pipes inside. It's not the Plex piping inside your RV that fails first. It's the connections. And so they say you really don't want to go too much over 50. You can go a little bit, but you really don't want to go too much over 50 PSI. And so you have regulators that are set, but you may want to be able to adjust sometimes, give you a little bit more when you need it. So this is a nice pressure regulator. You can see what the pressure is, and you can adjust. Some of them have a screw, like flathead screwdriver you need to adjust it. This one you can hand adjust. And for 17% off, it's not bad. You got $27 or actually, I'm sorry, $30 normally. It's down to $25 now. So this is the one we have actually, and it's worked for us quite well. Here's another thing we have in our RV, which we absolutely love. It's created some more space in our RV. And what this is a dish drying rack that goes over the sink. This thing here is adjustable, so you can adjust the width of it and it rolls out. So when you're doing dishes, you don't have to only have, in the limited counter space we have in RVs, you don't only have your sink and then have to have a drying rack separate that's taking up space. You can roll this out and have that for drainage as well. And right now it's 15% off. It's normally only $8 to begin with, but now you can get it for about $6. So I would get it back again in a heartbeat. If I miss it on sale, I would get it even at normal price on there. We had this last year. This is a fold down shelf here that folds up when it's out of the way. What we've been looking for is kind of like what we have here. You can put it anywhere. You can put it next to the sofa, stuff like that. We're looking at putting near our bed because the closets on our bed come out at the head of the bed. So you kind of have a enclave there that kind of you go into. And so by having this to be able to put your phone that's charging, glasses, any of that type of stuff, and then fold up out of the way when you don't need it is great. And it's 15% off. Normally it's $20. It's down to $17. So not a lot of dollars off, but anything's good when you're dealing in a smaller dollar. Every dollar you can save is great. Now the awning light, we talked about one version that was blue that allowed you to put your lights along the edge here yesterday. This one is just regular white, but it's designed to actually hook up and you can cut and to your size, and it's got adhesive and it's waterproof, which is great if you're going to have it for outside. And it's almost half off. It's normally $40. It's down to a few, just over 20 on there. So if you're looking for something like that, That's great. And you don't only have to do with the awning. You can go under. The thing I like about this is the wiring here is designed that it can connect up into your actual outdoor light, so that when you turn the switch to your outdoor light on, it can turn this on as well, if you decide to do that. Another great accessory, if you have set up a quick connect for your propane RV, this is a hose that goes into a quick connect for your propane accessories like your campfire or your Blackstone griddle or regular grill. Has everything you need. It has a not a quick release, but also has a valve for on and off that you can have at the end there that helps with when you're actually using the stuff. So it's braided, is good for all those accessories there. So as you see here, it's got going to propane grill, Weber like full size grill, goes to the quick connect, and got everything you need there. And your pricing right now is 15% off. Instead of $30, you're down to $25. So that's a good deal for that. We actually got this last year, so otherwise I'd buy it right now. So only a few more to go. For those of you that are looking at going to tankless water heater as opposed to your regular one, this Camplex RV tankless water heater with a mixing tank allows it to go. What it does is it actually has, it's not a full water heater, but it does have a tank that mixes it to allow you not to run out of your hot water real quick, which is a complaint some people have with the tankless ones there. So this is a third off right now. Instead of $550, it's 28% off. So that brings you down to $395. And so as the water comes in, it gets heated there and has a fan that brings it in. And it adjusts for seasonal temperature. You can give the time control, or you can adjust the flame for different seasons. As it says, you've got a mixing tank to prevent it from burning. So it'll heat up real hot, but before it sends it to the faucet or the shower, it can already mix it up as it's going out with some of the cold water so that you don't get scalded on there. So some great features there. It does fit in the current location of your regular water tank. So that's why it's designed this way. So your RV, you don't have to worry about misfit and all that type of stuff or extra space there. Now, I've talked about snap pads before. Some of them are unavailable this time, but depending on your size, they are on sale again, the ones that are available. So this is a 9-inch round. It adds space to what you have and gives you better grip on different types of terrain. So you can have grass, mud, or rock, snow. And as you see here, it goes down, snaps right on the end of your levelers and connects and gives you more stability on there. So this size is normally $159.95, so $150, and it's 20% off down to $120. And you can select other sizes as well, as you see here. But we'll have the link to that in the in our description and our comments after we get off the live stream here. All of these will be on our webpage within an hour of getting off of the live stream. Now, while we're talking about compressors, here's another type of compressor that also will do up to 150 psi. So it's, you got two different ones. We had the one earlier, and this one has different hookups for it. You can have the cigarette lighter type hookup. It has the adapter from the cigarette lighter to the battery terminal. So you don't have to worry about changing wires out. The adapter actually goes right into the cigarette lighter into there if you need to do that. You have your different types of hookups you need, your hose. So all the basics and carrying bag. This is 25% off. So instead of $66, you're down to just under 50, so $49.49. So I would get one of the two, whichever one works for you. Both of them will work for RV because it'll go up to 150 psi. But this is a nice little compact one if you need to. And then again, getting back to our solar panels, we had this last year. Renogy is really pushing the market when it comes to solar panels. And one thing that they have that I haven't seen anywhere else is the flexible solar panel here. And this allows you to make your solar panels mobile if you need to. They can fit on different structures. You can permanently attach them, but you can also lay them out, stuff like that, and have them hook up. So as you see, it can be flexible for curved roof, that type of stuff. It can go right down on the roof. You don't have to worry about brackets and all that type of stuff for it. It is very lightweight. And then your plug system, they're in line, so you can have it go from, you can plug them up one into the other until you get down to your actual setup. And they do what they call a half cell tech, which is a lower temperature when they're working. Doesn't really have hot spots as much. And then during accidental shading, it still has great performance. What I mean by accidental shading is debris gets on top of it. It still operates very well. So this is 25% off. Instead of $370, you're down to $276. So still a great deal. They normally have some type of deal during the Prime deal days, but this is a leader in the market when it comes to the solar panels. Again, the water flow meter, we use this all the time. I've got one for our black tank flush, so that once we flush out the black tank and I refill from the hose outside. After the flush has been going, I shut the valve to the black tank and let it fill for another about 5-7 gallons so that there's water in there, because water's your friend in your black tank. Well, instead of having to worry about guesstimating how much it is, I turn this on and I can measure how much water goes through. I'm going to be getting another one for my freshwater for when we start boondocking. We don't boondock much. We're normally in the camping site, but I do want to kind of track how much water we're using going into the tank for my freshwater tank when we start doing boondocking. So this is a great time to do this. This is almost a third off. You went from $25 down to $18. So we're going to be picking this up again. Like I said, we just bought last year, and it's time for us to buy again on here. We talked about some of your picnic table covers. This one also attaches. This one you can get different colors in here, get a little more festive. You have different selections. We're going to be getting this year. I like kind of the design a little better instead of just your standard, say basic tic-tac-toe pattern. You can get different types. It comes with a bag. And this is on sale right now for 16% off. Instead of $21, you got down to $17. You got two different sizes. You can go up to 96 for the real long ones. And that's actually what we're going to do. We have the 72 for some of them, but then we've been some places where they got the long picnic table. So we're going to pick up a couple of those. And then you have all different designs here that you can go with. You can get kind of festive with some of these things. And so it's a great time to pick some of those up to protect your stuff you're putting on there and where you're sitting while you're going. Second to last item we have here, your RV AC filters. They recommend every about 3 months to clean out the filter to your RV, which on the inside of your AC, inside the living area, where the main return comes in, you have a return going into the AC and then blows out. It may blow into ducts. but the air going up into your AC unit has a filter. They recommend you take that out and clean it every 3 months. However, what I do, rather than worry about that, is I put a clean filter in, and at this price, for $12, 20% off for $12, this is a replacement filter that comes in a roll. You actually have 40 inches long worth, and you can cut to fit. So the problem I found with the filters before when you try to replace them is all these different units have different sizes that you try to fit into. You see how this unit's different than this unit, different than this like wall unit than here. And you normally have to buy specific to the brand you have to get the right size. And those cost more. Here, you can cut exactly to the size and have it fit everything. So I actually been looking for the rolls of this in the hardware store, and I can't find them anywhere. So while this is on sale, we're going to be stocking up on this on Amazon here. So for $11, I can't beat that. My final find for those of you who are looking at decorating, yes, your signs and decorations that we've talked about over the last year are on sale again. This is a wooden sign. This one says, camping where you can spend a small fortune to live like a homeless person. Those of you that have camped full time can definitely attest to that. We'll be going over in a future episode of Camping with the Pups what our expenses were to camp full time for 2 months. We went over this summer for 2 months straight, and expenses were a little higher than we anticipated. So you can relate to this. So a lot of what we're trying to do today is make it where you not spend a small fortune. You're spending even less. So the decorations like this that was $14 is almost half off at $7.99. So if you're looking for decorations, there's pillows, there's other stuff. Amazon Prime Day is a great day for that. So there's a ton of deals that we found here on Amazon Prime Day. Some of them, unfortunately, I apologize, went away, or they didn't go away. They sold out. They were unavailable. So we had like 2 or 3 that were early morning because we were up at midnight going through some of these to see some of the new drops. And we had some good ones in here, but they didn't last. So we will immediately, after I sign off here, I'll load up the list onto our website. That's www.campingpupsrv.com. When you go there, there's a tab for your your Amazon Prime days. And let me go ahead and bring that up for you again here. We'll go back to the screen. Just one moment. Yeah. Okay, slight technical difficulty. That's campingpupsrv.com. And as you'll see, there is a tab that you can go down. Let's get us back down. So we still have our Hurricane Helene help area. There's all different resources for people that are looking for. A lot of those resources are still doing for Hurricane Milton that's coming through. And also our Prime Day Deals link. These are all the links from yesterday's broadcast. We will be adding to the top of this all the links of stuff that we went over today. So there's still a lot of these are great sales that are still on today. So you can still make a lot of these deals, but as we saw, a couple of them are selling out. So I'd go there and check. And right after we sign off, we'll go ahead and get these uploaded there. So thank you everyone for joining us. If you found other links while you're out there, please drop in the comments to share with the rest of the community. And for those of you out there trying to shelter in place or get away from Hurricane Milton, the best of luck to you. Our prayers are with you. Please stay safe as you can. And for the camping pups, Maggie and Jackson, my wife Daniela, and myself, happy camping with the pups.